Record. Ooh, that's loud. Hold on. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Oh, it's so nice to have people in the studio. All right, so we're trying a little different setup today just to see how this works. If I leave my yoga mat, that means I'm just looking at somebody out here who you can't see, but I'll be back. Or I'll get one of my front row folks to come onto my mat. We'll see about that. All right, so as is normal for me, when I try something new, I get a little like, until I calm down. So sit well, everybody. And just feel your body in space and feel the way that you are sitting. Feel free to sit any way that makes sense for you. So if you normally sit up on a block in hero pose, go ahead and do that. Or maybe you're sitting up on a blanket this morning. And I wanted to read something again from this book. This is my new favorite book because I just got it. And it is Mark Nepo's book, and it's called Things That Join the Sea and the Sky. And I'm just starting to get into it, and I love his work in all ways. So go ahead and find yourself settled, find your breath. Take a nice deep breath and just let it go, and then close your eyes if you're comfortable. And I'll read this passage from him. And it's called The Great Teacher. At first, we see ourselves in everything, but experience, the great teacher that it is, inverts this, the way erosion exposes the heart of a mountain. In a slow, irrevocable time, which can't be rushed, we find that everything lives in us, the way all of life is encoded in our genes. In just this way, every form of life is imprinted in the heart, revealed when we dare or are forced to feel. For it's through the life of feeling that we come upon the 10,000 teachers, each bringing us more fully alive. So the leaf about to fall from the top of the tree is teaching me how to let go of the one belief that no longer works. And the turtle inching its way across the mud is teaching me how to stay true for the long haul. And you reaching for me in your kindness are teaching me that care is the soft hand of God feeding us, the way an old gardener stops to feed a baby bird. Love it, love it, love it. So with that, right, we sit and we realize that everything in life is already in us. And as we live our lives, we realize that all those things that resonate, that make us stop, make us pause, are because we already have this in our hearts. We already have it imprinted. We just have to maybe stop and acknowledge that. So take both hands on either side and inhale, reach up. Take your hands together, exhale to your heart, interlace and press out. Good, really reach, Don't try not to tuck your chin, just reach the arms and then bring it back to your heart and press it out to the side. Good, bring it back in, interlace, press out. And bring it in, turn the hands and squeeze. So what are we doing here, everybody? Bring it in and press out. Here's the stretch of the back body, the contraction of the chest. We bring it in, we start to open it up, contract the back, right? And stretch the chest. Good, 2 more. And press out. Bring it in, open up. And last one, bring it in, press it out. And in and open it up and then exhale down. Good. Take one hand down, reach the other arm up, bring it right next to your ear. right next to your ear. Good. And then tone the belly in a little bit and maybe tuck just a little bit so our pelvis feels a little bit more neutral. And then reach out, but keep the arm and the head pretty close to each other. See if that works. And extend through the arm. And then imagine you could touch that part of the ceiling. So I want you to stretch, 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 stretch that side. And this hand, right, that's supporting you, maybe walk it out even more. Roll that shoulder under. Maybe reach over a little bit more and stretch more. Good. Take everything up. Squeeze the beach ball, everybody. Exhale. Hand comes down. Start here, right? This shoulder opens up. The arm reaches up. The head stays around the same line as the arm. Come on down, press down through the opposite hip, soften that standing shoulder, and then start to reach, start to reach, start to reach. Feel the side body, breathe, maybe walk it out a little bit more, roll the shoulder down, watch, there you go, Leslie, right? Watch it, see if you're starting to roll forward, and then just find that stretch, oh my goodness, and take it all the way up. Exhale, let it go. Whew, good. Roll it out. Roll it out. Right. So, how do we find extension? How do we find that opening, say, from this hip to those fingertips? So, let's do that again. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, one hand down. Keep it close. Start to move. Right. The tendency here is either to roll forward or to drop the head. So, see if you can change that a little bit. Drop the hip, feel that, maybe lift the hand for a second. Okay, there's core work, right? And then reach that arm out, drop the fingertips again. See if you can keep the hip grounded and the extension of the body. Now take these ribs, right? Same side ribs, and draw them in just a little. Oh, yeah, right? Now it's really starting to change. And inhale, take it up, squeeze the beach ball. Exhale, other side. Hand down, shoulder rolls, ear and the arm come towards each other. Good. Watch that you don't lift the chin. Keep yourself neutral. And then come part way. Good. Notice, right? Where is it in you? Can you feel this, right? Because I can see a little rounding forward. Yep, Leslie, right? And sometimes we don't even, we're not even aware that our body's starting to head toward the ground. And then notice that, right? Press down through the hip, lift, see if you can hold. And then extend out, drop the fingertips, roll that shoulder open, extend even more, drop the hip, and then those outside ribs, pull them in just a little bit and feel the straight line. Good, push up, squeeze the beach ball, everybody. Now, squeeze the beach ball, but somebody's taller than you and they're going to try to pull that beach ball out of your hands. So what do you got to do? Your arms are starting to stretch more, but you're going to resist a little bit more. Don't lift the chin. Watch for that tension there. Good, Julie, bring the head back to alignment. Good, squeeze up some more. Don't let them get that beach ball out of your hands. And exhale, let go. Can you tell I live in Florida? Good, roll it out. One hand to your chest, the other hand moves forward, pull it back. So you're pulling back on that shoulder, you're reseating the shoulder blade, and then take the arm out to the side. Good, pause here and extend out, but with this hand, resist the other way. Whew, soften the head, the neck, right? That's where we get tight. So extend out, keep extending out. You want your fingertips to head toward that wall, resist with the other hand. And then twist the whole upper body with that arm back. Don't let the arm go further back than the shoulder. And then release both hands, one behind you and one to the opposite knee. Seated twist, that's all we're doing. Take a really deep breath, everyone. And then just the back arm, lift it up, cross elbows. We've done this one before. Some of you are going to kind of stay right here or let go because that feels really weird. Everybody else is going to start to bend the elbows, but don't go all the way just yet. Once the elbows bend, see if you can broaden through the shoulders a little bit. See if you can do a little bit of an arch with the lower back so that you're not rounding into your low back. And then maybe you bring the elbows to the floor, maybe not. Don't force this one. Take a really deep breath. And then as you come up, keep the elbows together, undo those arms, spread them up and back down again and roll it out and maybe shake out those legs. I realize we've been crossed the same way for quite a while. Good. And then maybe sit the opposite way that you normally do. It always feels kind of weird. All right, inhale. Oh, sorry. So other hand, reach it forward and then pull it back. When we pull it back, we're trying to see if we can level out those shoulders so they're both in the same plane. And then take it out to the side and extend. Hand to chest, pull it back, soften that head, neck, and then reach out more, reach out more. Keep drawing this hand like I'm pulling pretty good back, right? I really want to see if I can find the stretch through these pectoralis muscles in the chest. Breathe. Maybe you can find a little bit of the tricep. And then start the twist from here. Let your chest arm move in unison as you start to stretch it, stretch it, stretch it right from the center of your chest. And then let one hand come down, release the hand that's on the chest to your knee, drop the shoulders, bring your head back to alignment. Take a nice deep breath. That's it. And notice, right? How is that feeling for you? Where do you feel that little bit of a stretch? And then take the back arm, reach it up, cross your elbows, drop your hand, think about it. So I come part way down. I can take my nose to the floor here because my hips are designed that way, but I want to tilt the pelvis a little bit. It's almost as if you're going to lift out of that space so that the low back stays more neutral as you bend the elbows and you just think about it. Does that feel okay? Yeah, okay, I'll go a little lower. Does it not feel okay? All right, I'm not going to go as low. And then feel the stretch as you hold on to the legs, as you stretch through the back of the shoulders. Keep the elbows together, bring your body back up, separate those arms, spread them out. Now, I want you to take both arms out, turn the palms up, see if you can engage triceps a little bit, those little bugger muscles, right? Roll the shoulders down, stretch out from both fingers. Like, where is the extension here? And then engage the back body a little bit. See if you can stay out of the head, the neck, right? So keep that soft. And then inhale up, exhale to your heart, shake it out. Good job, everybody. There you go. All right, let's shake those legs out. Come into a nice, easy Dandasana pose. So the big toes press out, the body's nice and tall, right? The hips are evenly seated. And then take the hands beside you, draw the shoulders back and down, press your hands or fingertips into the mat. So elbows bend, the body's nice and tall, the chest is lifted. Breathe and then push into your hands. Be careful here. Push and see if you can get any weight off those hips, any weight at all. Yep, it's a whole bunch for the upper body. And then soften. And again, push, breathe. If this is really hurting your wrist, then don't do it. And let go. Good. One more time. Push, push, push. Engage. Drop the inner groin a little bit. Let that go. Fire up the legs. Take the arms up. Soften again through the shoulders and breathe. And then imagine you're getting taller. There's that beach ball in the hands again. Some big bullies trying to pull it out away from you. Where'd that come from? And then reach, 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 reach. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And let go. Woo, right? And then kind of notice, because what I'm realizing, especially from the last workshop and from playing around since, is even though I thought I had really good extension, I wasn't really extending. And it's starting to really change the way I feel about certain things. How do we get out there, right? How do we get out of our comfort zones, whether it's yoga or not? All right, so come on to table pose, everyone. If you need a blanket under or want a blanket under your knees, please go ahead and do that. Have your blocks up toward the front of your mat. And I'm just going to scoot everything else out of my way. And place your hands on your mat, table pose, and round up into cat pose. And tuck your chin toward your chest, squeeze your low belly in, and just feel that. And then flip your toes under, come to a neutral spine, draw the shoulders away, upper arms externally rotate, lift the knees a couple of inches off the floor. Look either between your hands or slightly forward of those hands and breathe. Hold on to the beach ball right between the elbows. Find your breath. And then start to bring your hips back, 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 back. Yep, hold, reestablish the arms. Press back even more extension through the arms. Reestablish. You're holding the beach ball. The upper shoulders are externally rotating. Your head is between your arms. There's the arm and ear thing again. Breathe. See if you can extend any more through the upper body. And then lower back down to your knees. And shake it out. And notice. Yeah, right? So, downward facing dog. How do you find that extension without dropping into the shoulders? Okay, so think about that. We're going to come back to that in a minute. So come back to table pose. Your knees and your hips line up. Walk your hands way out. So puppy stretch. What's puppy stretch, right? For me, again, I'm still hanging on to that beach ball between the elbows a little bit because I want to keep the arms active. And I'm going to start to drop my chest toward the floor. For me, my forehead comes to the floor pretty easily. And I'm feeling my mid back. I'm going to extend more. So maybe I even move my fingertips further forward. Zero pain, everybody. If you've got a shoulder injury I don't know about, you might not extend as much, right? And then squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. And breathe. And then press into your hands, walk your hands back. Child's pose, again with that arm extension. Find your breath. See if you can find the middle back, right between the shoulder blades. And then come back up. So table pose, I want you to take your right hand and walk it as far over to the left as you can. And then drop your left elbow. And then sit back in your pose a little bit. So we're stretching the right side. I want you to find that, right? Find that stretch maybe along the upper back shoulder, maybe under the arm. Breathe. And then take your hips and just bring your whole torso a little bit to the left and lengthen your right hip away from your right armpit. So we're making that right side a little longer. And breathe. And then press up. You're back where you were, table pose. Take your left hand, walk it all the way over. Drop your right elbow. Feel the stretch right there. What you do with your head is okay with me. If you want to rest your head on your arm, that's okay. If you want to keep it more lined up, that's okay. And then slightly draw your hips toward the left and then move your left hip away from your left armpit a little bit. Big stretch here, everybody. Now tone your low belly in. What? Breathe. Release. Come on up. Ooh. Good. If you can, sit back on your toes. If you cannot, then just come to easy pose, or even you can stay up, okay, as long as your knees are okay. So sit back on your toes if you can. Get your pinky toes out and under as well. So we'll stretch the backs of the feet. Inhale, take one arm up. Extend up. Here we are. So now some of you might hyperextend. I don't think I hyperextend. So be mindful of that. Even as we're extending, you don't want to bow out too much here. So extend up, take it out, breathe, turn the palm down, reach that arm all the way behind you, grab your opposite arm. Yep. Roll the shoulders, tone the belly in. If your toes are screaming, come on off of them. With that, for me, it's my right hand behind. Take your ear to your left shoulder. How do we stretch, right? That whole side body. Big deep breath. And take it up. Good. Inhale, come on up, flatten your toes. I know everybody's happy about that one. Either leave them flat or flip them back under, come on down. Inhale, other arm up. Breathe, take it out to the side, turn it down, reach it behind you, grab your elbow on the other side, roll both shoulders evenly. And for me, because I tend to overarch, I'm going to tuck in a little bit. If you tend to underarch, if you tend to roll into your low back, maybe arch a little bit more. Try to find that neutral space. And then with my left arm behind, I'm going to take ear to right shoulder. Yep, and breathe. Release, listen up, hands down to the floor. Only if you can, take the knees up a little bit. So front and back of the feet, right? We don't stretch them enough. The front ankles, nice little stretch here. And then release it. Take your hands in front of you. Good, you're back to table pose. Tone the belly in, flip your toes under. Think about what we just did. Hold on to the beach ball, externally rotate the upper back, upper shoulders, take the knees off the floor just a few inches. Squeeze the belly in, everybody. Hold on to that beach ball. Extend through the arms. It's as if you could push your hands away from you isometrically. Now engage that middle back so that you don't just drop through the shoulder blades. Find your breath. Extend a little more if you can. Maybe wiggle the hips out of the way a little bit. I know, right? Press into your hands, press into your fingers. Then straighten the legs. Don't move the feet. Stay right there. Press through the thumb and the index fingers. Engage your back. Find your breath. Come on, we got this. Tone the belly in, but lengthen the sit bones. And inhale, tippy toes. Woo! Lower down. Holy moly, walk those hands forward. Puppy stretch here. Draw the hips back and away from the arms. And then press to table pose and walk your right foot forward, grab your blocks. I bet you're glad to be done with that, right? All right, so here we are, nice easy lunge, front knee, front ankle. The hips start to level out. I want you to take this left hip and draw it in a little bit. Find the glute work. Take your hands to your knee and bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears, all the way up. Squeeze them up, hands to knee, Julie. There you go. And feel that, right? And then just imagine this whole part of your body, right? The low back, the pubic bone is all just going to draw in and get really active. And then roll the shoulders back as you take the arms up. And breathe, everybody. So here we are, extension again, right? If we're in cactus pose, go there first. Squeeze the back body. Take your pinky fingers and turn them in to the middle a little bit. And then extend the arms up. And draw the low belly in and feel this big, big, big extension. Exhale, hands down. Woohoo! Switch sides, everybody. That sounded a little southern, didn't it? Switch sides, everybody. I'm getting ready for Georgia. All right, so front knee, front ankle. Here we are again. See if you can find where your hips are. Draw that right hip, front of the hip in a little bit to activate the back glute. Take your hands to your knee. Notice if you feel stable here, right? Are the legs wide enough apart that you have a wide base for this support? Can you play with what happens if you push the front foot away from you isometrically or pull it in a la hamstrings a little bit? All right, take the arms up. Find that again. Pinky fingers roll in, right? What does that do when we roll the pinky fingers in? We actually externally rotate the upper arms. Good, breathe. See if you can extend on this side. Take the hands together if you want. Index finger points up. The rest of the fingers fold down. The ears are getting hugged by your arms. Tone the belly in. Exhale, let go. Take that leg back. Pause, set your blocks out off to the side. Plant your hands. Hold on to the beach ball. Take the knees off the floor. Now, I want you to play here. Now, start out with the knees down. Sorry about that. Start with the knees down, just because we want to figure this one out. So you're in table pose, and just drop a little bit through the shoulders, just a little. And Adriana, if that's hurting, just go here. Okay, so drop through the middle shoulder blades, and then push back out again, and drop, and push out. Good, one more drop, and push out. Find the middle space, right? So you're not rounding, you're not sinking, you're in the middle. Activate the back body, flip your toes under, lift the knees, squeeze an imaginary block between the legs. Bring the chest back toward your thighs. Reestablish the arms. Straighten the legs. Woo. Breathe. Feel the line of strength from the middle fingers all the way up to your armpits. And then widen your feet. Walk your hands back. Bend your knees. Hands come to your knees and come on up. And then, right? So just start to feel this. What's starting to happen here when we extend up and then engage the latissimus dorsi, or we go here and we start to engage the rhomboids and the middle trapezius muscles? Can we start to find that place in our bodies that support all of our poses? So come to mountain pose, grab one of your blocks, and take that block between your thighs. Walk your feet in, engage, right? So squeeze the block, feel the inner upper thighs. We've been playing with this for the last few classes. Your inner groin rolls in, your outer heels roll in. So your inner groin rolls in, what's that do? It widens you here. Then the outer heels of both feet draw in isometrically to activate these outer hips. Inhale, take it up. Oh, I feel so tall in this corner. Exhale, come on down. So we're in a little bit of a chair pose. Take one hand here, one hand here. This is just my favorite way to figure this one out, is this back hand is going to draw the tailbone sacrum down. This hand's going to draw the chest up. And then I'm going to sit back a little bit. Take both hands to your heart space and pull the flesh up. Yeah, right? Squeeze. Rob, if you can sit back more and separate the feet a little bit. Breathe. Take one arm up. Take one arm back. Breathe. Lengthen through the tailbone. Find your breath. Engage the back body. Extend the arms. Switch directions. Woo! Find your breath. Take both arms forward. Stand up. Exhale, soft knees, come on down. If your fingers don't reach the floor or your low back is giving you a little trouble, take the hands up higher. Find your breath, shake out your hips. Now let your head hang. Oh. Even I will keep my head lifted looking at my back, but let's stretch out the back of the neck. Find your breath. Come into the middle space of your feet. Walk your hands forward and go to flat hands if you can. Externally rotate the upper arms. Feel the block, both widening the sit bones, but then the heels coming back towards each other isometrically. Feel that action in the legs. Don't let go of the action in the arms. Breathe. And then heel toe kind of your feet back to down dog. You still got your block. Arms externally rotate. Press through the thumb, index finger. I've been clawing a little into the mat to help support the arms, clawing with my fingertips. Engage your middle back. Squeeze your block. Extend through the arms. Soften the head so that it's between your arms. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Take that block out. Whew. Have a seat. Who knew, right? The more we slow it down, and this has always been the case, the more we slow it down, almost the harder it is. Like, because now we're really going, oh yeah, right? We're really kind of figuring it out. At least that's what I do. I'm like, oh yeah, feel that. All right, so blocks to the front of your mat, everybody. Hang in there. This is kind of cool because I'm looking at the camera and I'm looking at you guys. I'm looking. So keeping me on my toes. All right, come on up. Right foot forward. Find your lunge again. Knees or hips width apart. Yep, front knee to front ankle. Grab your blocks and take them up on the highest setting. And then I lift my back knee and I walk it back a little bit more. So walk it back and then flatten your foot again. Squeeze your back glute. And with those hips pretty darn even, including the low belly, right? Because I can drop in here until the cows come home, right? And all of this kind of drops. And I used to do that all the time, and it would always hurt this front part of the hip. So draw in even though your hips are forward, and then start to walk both hips back evenly. Start to straighten the front leg, but go slow. Feel where the hips go when we start to straighten the front leg. Now you can lift the front ball mound of that foot to get on the heel. Watch that you don't hyperextend this back knee, and then start to play. Right? Yeah. So, right, this little shimmy. I feel like I'm being cute almost. I'm like, oh, yeah. So, where do you feel the stretch in this leg? Is it at the top, at the sit bones? Is it in the middle of the hamstring? Is it closer to the knee where the hamstring wraps around the front of the knee? Right? Where is it for you? And then can you extend the torso out from it? And breathe. Can you walk the hands forward a little bit? Push into your blocks. Bend your elbows. Woo. Say hello. Hello. And slide your front foot back, bend your knee. Switch sides. Start in a nice, easy lunge, right? Tone in through both hips so that your clock face, what we've been talking about, is a little bit more even, right? The belly draws in for me. And then think about it again, right? Where is it going to be happening? I'm going to just start to inch. I walked my front foot forward, or bring your back knee back. Just start to inch back and notice what you do habitually. Like, for me, left hip wants to roll forward as I straighten the leg. So I'm going to keep coaxing it back. And then I'll get to a point where I want to lift the front heel so that I can keep going. right? Keep the leg active. So here, in order for this not to get hyperextended, I'm actually going to dig back a little bit with the heel isometrically. And then wiggle your butt a little. There's the inner hamstring, middle hamstring, outer hamstring, right? Can you feel it? There's 3 attachments. They all attach to the sit bone. Breathe, and then maybe you walk the blocks forward, keep the hips still. Draw the torso forward a little bit. Notice I'm not dropping down. And then release. Slide your front foot forward. Woo! Just set your blocks out of the way. Lift your back knee, downward facing dog. Shake it all out, everybody. And breathe. Step your right foot forward. Hands come to your blocks. Dig your front heel back. Fire up your back leg and squeeze your glute. Lift from this space here, right? It's almost for me a little tuck in of that space. Now dig into your front foot. Take your hands to your knee. Start to lift your chest by drawing your belly up. Keep the back heel straight back. Rob, widen your pose. Breathe. Tone in here. Take the arms up. Straighten the arms. Fire up the back shoulders, right between the shoulder blades, and breathe. Push through your back leg. Breathe. As you exhale, big swan dive. Whew. Hands come to your blocks. Feel free to start with the blocks up high. Start to wiggle the right hip back, right? Watching those hips, seeing if you can find level. If it feels super good to you, drop the blocks down 1. If this is already enough and your front knee is bent, which means your hamstrings are tight, you stay a little higher. And then lengthen the torso forward. Walk your blocks forward if you want. This is big stretch, by the way. I got pretty open hamstrings, and this is a big stretch, but I'm doing it mindfully, right? I'm breathing. The hips feel really supported. The low belly is toned in. Maybe you bend your elbows. Don't overdo. Don't go big. Don't go big. I just had to remind myself. I'm like, this feels so good, right? Don't go big. Go smaller. Find the small stretch. Bend your front knee. Whew. Set your blocks to the side. Step back to downward facing dog. Shake it out. And when you're ready, left foot forward. How y'all doing out there? Woo! Hands come back to your blocks. You can start high. I like to start high because it gives my torso space, right? So I can move a little bit. Your front knee is bent. Your back leg is active. Your feet are hips width apart. Both feet are pointing forward. And then we're going to start the slow exploration of the front leg straightening. On this side, left hamstring is way more open. This is a piece of cake. You can lower the blocks 1 level. Notice, I'm going to stand up for a second because that side is already so open. Notice where your foot, front foot, wants to go when you start stretching the hamstring. Do you lift off the back or the big toe? Do you lean out? Do you lean in? And then start to take the leg back more if you want. Really press through both legs. Lengthen your torso. So Leslie, lengthen more than round. I know you can bend the elbows, but keep the torso long. Cease, long chest here. Yeah, better. Everybody breathe. And then start to bend that front leg. Whew. Set your blocks aside. Plant your hands downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor, everybody. Child's pose with extended arms. Unless, by the way, if your head drops phenomenally down when the arms are out, I would take a block or your hands under your forehead instead, because we don't want all that downward pressure necessarily. So just find your breath. Notice how your arms feel. Notice how your shoulders feel. It used to be, anyway, in my brain, that if you kept extending way up, you were going to create more tightness in the upper traps. I'm finding quite the opposite, that if I engage the back muscles and soften up, I'm getting more mobility here instead of less. So I'm super excited about that whole idea. All right, so come on up, everybody. Table pose. Downward facing dog. Feet are wide on your mat. Walk your hands all the way back. Bend the knees and come on up to standing. And roll it out, everybody. Just roll it out, shake it out. Right? Be willing to move in your body. Where is it? Where do you feel it? Like, where do you feel it? It's like, oh yeah, hamstrings. I have to talk about that some more sometime. All right, so take your feet a little bit wider. Feet are nice and straight. Bend your knees. And if you can, I want you to come all the way down to your elbows to knees. And feet are parallel. So first I want you to widen through the sit bone. So it's almost like you're going to poke your butt out even more. Your knee to ankle is lined up. And then feel your outer skin of your heels draw in. Look at your feet, maybe look at the arches. So as I try to pull the heels in, the outer hips get active, yet the sit bones are still wide. Tone the belly in here. Lift the chest a little bit. Take both hands to the outside knees and push out. Yep. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Release and stand up. Shake it out. All right, you're coming to the front of your mat. I'm going to take a little sip of water. Left foot forward, right foot back, warrior one position. Warrior one position. So what's that mean, right? Front foot is straight forward. The back foot is turned out a little bit, but not a lot. So Rob, too much for the back foot. Yep. And breathe. Cease, I would even take your back foot more forward if you can. And Leslie, I would probably do you too. Take the toes more. Yeah. So, right, we know this, right? I don't think this is new news. As we set up for warrior one, if the more the back foot turns sideways, that's warrior two, by the way, right? The more I either have to torque this whole sacrum to get to the front, or I just stress something out. It's right here, right? So if it's a front facing pose and I turn my back foot to face forward, then the hips can be here, the sacrum can be here, and I feel pretty happy about the whole thing. So you're here, front knee is pointing straight ahead. The knee and the ankle are lined up. I'm going to activate the back leg. Think about this moving away a little bit. Back glute, back leg, press to the outer edge of that back foot. And then take your hands to your heart. Draw the belly in. Look straight forward. Take the arms to cactus. And breathe. Now, easy for those of us who have lumbar spines that really arch. Easy for us to overarch here. So pay attention to that if that's you. Arms are out in cactus, turn the pinky fingers in. Then straighten the arms and breathe. And then see if the arms can come closer to your ears and breathe. And then if you feel good, the whole front body lifts up. I'm not moving into my low back. I'm stretching the whole front body. You can take the hands together, interlace hands, index finger points up, warrior two. Breathe. Push through the back leg, everybody. Smile. Exhale, release. Take your hands to your hips and step forward. I know. It's all good. All right. Other leg, right foot forward, left foot back. Same thing. It's going to be different one side to the other side, right? How do you feel here? How much internal rotation does the back leg do? The front leg is really neutral, but in reality, there's a slight external rotation there. So here I am again. I'm going to think about this. Can I draw in here, activate the back leg? Now, press through the outer edge of your back foot. Like feel it. Feel your inner arch lift up, right? Yeah. And then notice that. Take your hands to your heart. And feel where your body lines up in warrior one. For me, the shoulders for most people, pretty easy to get them centered. The ribs, yeah, getting there. The legs, not really. The hips might square, but they might not. And I would never force that because we're really looking here for integrity in that sacral area. All right, hands to heart. Cactus. Roll the shoulders back. Turn the pinky fingers in. Roll the shoulders or the arms long. Pause. Breathe. Again for me, right? Ribs got to come in a little bit. I'm going to push more through the back leg. Breathe. And then either the palms face each other or the hands interlace. And I can stretch the arms. I can get really sweet extension. And maybe I even look up a little bit, but I go nowhere near my low back. And breathe. And release. Take your hands to the floor. Step back to down dog. Shake it all out. Take all the principles that we've been doing in class into your downward facing dog. Externally rotate the shoulders. Nice, Cease, that's it. Engage the middle space of the back. Press into your hands. Rob, find the middle of your hands instead of the outer corners. Yeah, that's it. Breathe. Good. Keep firing up the middle back limb. And everybody exhale, lower your knees. Come on to child's pose or just come have a seat for a moment. Find your breath. Where do you play in your yoga poses, right? In what you do. I'm learning as I get older that I can be more silly, and it's good and it's okay. I'm so serious as a younger person. I really was. I didn't play as much as I should have. I'm having a second childhood. So just kind of notice that and then find a seat any way that you can. Just come on up. And if hero pose, or this would really be called thunderbolt, if this doesn't feel good, just crisscross your legs or sit up on a block. All of that's good. And then take your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and let them come down. Good. One more time. Take them up and roll them back. And this time when you roll them back, bring the upper part of the arms parallel to each other behind you. In other words, draw the elbows in. Take your hands to your side hips for a second. Watch the tension in the head neck because that's where it'll go. And then see if you can bring this part of your arms, elbow to shoulder, parallel to each other behind you. And just kind of notice that. Notice how that feels for you. And then straighten the arms down toward the floor. Let me turn around. Toward the floor, but bend the elbows still. So they're here, but bend the elbows and try to draw the upper arms toward each other. Don't overdo. If you go here, there's tons of stress in my neck right now. I want you to stay bent and just draw the upper arms toward each other. You can release the hands from the sacrum a little bit, but don't let the front shoulders roll forward. Yeah. Breathe, right? Where is that for you? And then release it. And then find your way to standing. Come all the way up. And roll it out. All right. Left foot forward, right foot back. Wider pose, a little bit longer pose this time. So we're thinking of pyramid pose. Your blocks probably could be in the way, or sorry, yeah, put them in the way so you can use them. The left hip rolls back, right? The back leg gets active. I'm going to start to dig in deep of those the hip creases. Deep, 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 and take my hands to my blocks. Can take the blocks up high. Think about everything we've been talking about. So that left hip rolls back, the hips level out. I'm going to push into my back foot, straighten my front leg. Straight is a relative term. Do not ever force a straight leg. Breathe. If this feels marvelous, take these blocks down one level. Roll the shoulders. Get back to the outer pinky edge of your back foot. It's easy to drop that ankle in, so lengthening it out. It's as if someone was going to squeeze the inner ankle in. Walk your blocks forward. Now, push your hips back to extend your torso forward. Please be gentle here. Do not overdo it. The hips reach back as the arms come forward. The head is between the arms. If you bobbed your head side to side, you would touch your arm with your ears. Breathe. Release that. Bend your front knee. Walk your blocks back. Listen up. Take your hands to your knee. Come on up. Take the arms behind you, interlace. Bring the upper arms parallel to each other. Start to come forward. Careful here. Drop your chest. If you want, straighten the leg. If you want, whoop, straighten your arms, but don't overly straighten. Just squeeze them back. Push through your legs. Balance work here. And release. Woo, come on up. Step forward. I know, right? Can you say hamstrings? Breathe. Other side. So the same thing I said before, don't go for the big stuff. Try to bring it in. So if you're already tight, a little bit is big, right? A little bit is all you have to do. If you're really loose, you even more want to tighten it in. And that's so counterintuitive, but we got to tone in instead of keep doing this, right? Tough for me. I'm a loosey-goosey, as the teacher, my one teacher said. I am not. So, right? So we got to go, okay, let's hone it in. Let's bring it in. All right, right foot forward. Here we go. Bend the front knee. Find the hips first, and then a big dig into that, especially the right hip. As we come to pyramid pose, drawing the right hip back and under, pressing through the leg, staying in the outer edge of the back foot. You can't even look at it and go, is my inner ankle just dropping down to the floor? If it is, see if you can lift it up. Take a nice deep breath. What are you doing with the front foot? Are you in the center line of that foot? Walk the blocks forward if you want. But before you lower torso, both hips reach back isometrically. And then maybe I'll bend the elbows. Don't overreach. Don't overdo. This side is much tighter on me, so I'm staying up higher. Bend your front knee. Take your hands to your knee. Come on up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take them behind you. Interlace, palms stay apart from each other. Roll the shoulders back. See if you can bring the elbows back towards each other. Engage your belly. This is tricky. And maybe you keep your hands at your sacrum to start, a little bit more support, begin to come forward, begin to straighten the front leg, keep the torso long. You can release those hands. Don't overextend. Breathe. Push through. Release the hands. Woo! Take your hands to your blocks. Step back. And then take your hands to the floor. Bend the knees and come on up. And set your blocks aside. Now, you're going to wonder, take your feet wide, wider. What's a squat got to do with anything we just did? And what do we think? Anybody know? Why would I do a squat right now? Yes. Woo! We just stretch the heck out of the hamstrings. I want to bring them back in. Okay. So how do we bring in a hamstring, right? We're going to bend here and we're going to come into a squat and we're going to work these legs a little bit. So bend your knees. If you bend your knees, in fact, if you're near a wall and you want to come to a wall, that's kind of a resting pose at the moment. So, right, because when the hamstrings are, when the knees are bent, you're in your hamstrings. So feet are a little wider than hips width apart. I still want to keep the integrity here in the sacrum, right, in the pelvis. I can take my hands to the heart. I can keep the knees from floating in toward each other. Wide inner groin, heels come back in isometrically. Find your pose. Breathe, take the arms out. Breathe. Straighten the arms. Oh, stand up. Exhale down. Take your feet wide. I turn my toes out a little bit, goddess pose. Take the arms up. Extend the arms. Either way, left, you're good. Bend the arms. Bend the knees. Bring the knees out to the side. Tone the low belly in, right? Pubic bone up to belly button. You think about, in fact, take one hand to your belly. Your belly button's here, your pubic bone's here. Take it right in between those two. Yep. And if you feel like your pinky finger is going down and in, bring the pinky finger forward. Yeah. Right? So level pelvis. You feel that? Everybody? Yeah. Good. Sit back, sit back, sit back. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. Good. This time when you inhale, straighten, squeeze your butt. Exhale, down. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to thighs. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. This is horse stance. Breathe. Keep lengthening in through your belly. If you want to really go wild, lift your heels off the floor. Woo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Stand up. Bring those legs together and shake it out. How you doing in the back row? Woo, woo. All right, front of your mat, everybody. Mountain pause. Just feel your body. And notice, where is your head in space? Where are your shoulders? Where are your hips? Where are your feet? Without even looking at them, can you feel how solid they are on the earth? And then inhale, take it up. Exhale, swan dive down, bend the knees. Step back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Good down dog, everybody. Everything we just talked about. Lower your knees to the floor. Crisscross your ankles. Come on down to your butt. You're going to need your strap. Maybe a block. We'll see. I don't know if we'll have time for the block, but strap for sure. And then come on down to the floor. Keep your knees bent and just pause here. Just pause. Maybe your hands go to your front hip points and you check out, where am I from a pelvis standpoint? Where am I from a tilt tuck standpoint? Can I find the middle space of my hips? Grab your strap and take the strap around your right foot. Take that foot up to the ceiling. Hold on to it with your right hand, reassess your pelvis, and see if it still feels neutral. Extend through your right leg. Don't hyperextend the knee, but see if you can straighten it. If you're still good, straighten the left leg to the floor. If your left leg is really bowing, like if the knee is up, then I would bend that knee more, okay? So we don't fight the hip flexor for the hamstring. Find your breath. Take your left arm out to the side. Take your right leg out to the side, but don't let the left hip pop up, okay? And if you need feedback, which I do often, just take your left hand to the left front hip. When it pops off, or feel your sacrum, right? If I keep going with the leg, I'm completely off the left side of the sacrum. So find the sacrum, the sensation, and come to level there. It's not much of a stretch, right? And then take the leg up, grab the strap with your left hand. Still try to stay towards center of the sacrum. It's a lot harder here. You'll feel sensation on the outer right hip, the outer right leg, some of you right down to the toes. I know that from personal experience. Keep dropping the right hip even as the right leg goes over to the left. Find your breath. Take that leg up. Release it, both legs straight. Ooh, left leg feels, or right leg feels longer. All right, other side, both feet are on the floor. First, find kind of level. Take the strap around your left foot, take it up to the ceiling. Straighten the left leg, stay in the center line of your sacrum. I have this like clear picture in my head of a band along the center of my sacrum. And I try to stay on that line for me. Extend through the left knee, feel the straightness of the leg. Straighten the right leg optionally. Pause. The strap's in your left hand. Your right hand is on your right front hip. Take the right or the left leg out to the side and see where it might go. And I think I read this, or maybe Lala said it. Be honest with where you're taking that leg. Like for me, to keep my right hip on the leg is torture. Like I want to go further. I really do, but I'm going to keep the sacrum level and just see, is there a stretch there or not? If there isn't, that's all right. Take the leg up. Grab the strap with your right hand. I take my thumb into the hip crease of the left hip. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side as I roll that hip crease away. Try to stay mostly on the center line of the sacrum. Press down through the right leg. Oh, yeah. And smile, because this never changes. I don't care how many times I do this particular stretch, it always feels like this. And that makes me smile. There's some constants in the world, right? Breathe. Take the leg center. Listen up. You're going to bend your right leg. Take both feet up into your strap. Grab the ends of your strap. Wrap your fists around them one time and take the legs wide. So you're hanging onto your strap. You don't have to go very far. I want you to just take the legs wide. Find the middle line of your sacrum again. So if you just flattened your back, Move the sacrum down a little bit. Push legs against your strap. Feet are pressing against your strap. Yep, we're firing up those hips. Use your breath. Press, press, press. And then release. Bring your feet together. Take the soles of your feet together. You've got the strap coming down the middle of the legs. And then just pull the strap toward you as the feet come down, the knees come down. You can either leave them hovering or take them down to the floor, lengthen your pelvis. So a little bit of a bind here with the strap in Baddha Konasana. And I like to take the strap kind of along the inner line of my legs and just give them a little bit of grounding. I'm not trying to pull down, I'm just grounding those legs a little bit. And breathe. If you're feeling your lower back, please lift your hip, lengthen your tailbone, lengthen your back, and then come back down and see if that helps. And if you're still hanging onto your strap, let go. Take the palms face up, just let go. Let all the work go. Let all the work go. And breathe. Couple more breaths right here. All right, take your hands to your outer thighs and draw your knees back together. Ooh, take your strap out of the way. You're gonna feet to the floor, knees bent, lift your hips and shift your hips to the right edge of your mat. Bring the knees toward your chest and roll the knees to the left. So listen up for a moment. Find your twist first, okay? And then take your right arm. So the knees are to your left. I want you to take your right arm and reach it across and all the way to the floor in front of you. So you may face plant here, your forehead to the floor as you stretch. And then take the arm back up and start to open it up, but cactus arm that arm so that we find a stretch before we land. And even if we don't land, I'm looking for a stretch on the right side chest. If the arm comes all the way to the floor, that's awesome. If it doesn't, don't let it just hang from the joint. Either take it up higher where you can control it, or your blanket goes underneath your arm. And then reach the right arm up over kind of next to your right ear or overhead, but still on the floor. And then bend the elbow and slide the elbow down toward your hip or back. So it's like a little half snow angel. And then slide it up again. And then keep circling. Bring it all the way across until that arm is in front of you again. And then take everything back to your center. Once you're back to center, the hips come back to center and then they go all the way to the left. The knees come up and they go over to the right. So here we are again, the right arm is just extended out. I want you to take the left arm and first go into your version of a little bit of a twist. This is just so you can feel like you've got the alignment. And then take the left arm up and overhead and reach it across maybe you come more on the forehead and just stretch. And then slowly take it up. Make it a cactus arm. Find the stretch of your shoulder. Maybe you have to drop the hand more than the shoulder. There's going to be a nice stretch there. We did a lot in the opposite direction. And then maybe reach the arm overhead so that the arm comes near that ear again, but softer, much softer. And then slide that elbow down like you're doing a little snow angel. And slide it up. And slide it down. And then extend it out into a full twist. Find your breath. And then take the arm up overhead, curl over again, and breathe. And then open up, take everything back to center. Take your whole body back to the center of your mat. Bring your knees to your chest. Take a deep inhale right here. On the exhale, curl up, bring your head toward your knees, wrap yourself in a big ball, and release it. Keep your right knee to your chest, stretch your left leg nice and long, all the way to the floor. Hold on to your right knee, push your right knee away from you, and then bring it back to your chest. Switch sides, bring the left knee in, straighten the right leg, bring it all the way in, and then push it away, and bring it in again. And then straighten both legs, and let's find our Shavasana, everybody. Bend your knees, make sure you're warm enough. If you need something under the knees, just take that under your knees. But otherwise, find yourself so comfortable. If your traditional Shavasana does not work for you, find something that does. I love laying on my side sometimes, and even laying on my belly. Sometimes it just feels good. And fully let go here from your toes to your hips and belly, to your chest, to your jaw, to the space behind the eye. Let go. Feel the breath soft. Soften your whole body down. Let go of the need to change anything. Just let go. Softer still.
And then very slowly, just start to wiggle your toes and your fingers, and maybe your arms go overhead softly as you stretch from one end to the other end. And then bend the knees, draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side and allow the knees to roll to one side or the other. Curl to fetal pose. Take a moment. And then press all the way up to a seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom and to that knowledge that the universe is within. We resonate and we see life as the gift that it is. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, everybody.